and robotic physical movements are on full display in this 1996 interview with Rosie O'Donnell.
Because you saw her in Dead Calm, right?
Yes.
And you thought, I like her.
Yeah, I thought she's very talented.
Yeah, she is talented. The new movie's supposed to be great.
Yeah, she's extraordinary.
She's coming on this show.
I know, she's
just a couple days, yeah. No, I like her, I do, it's okay. It's Renee I was upset with. It's Renee in the movie with all that kissing with you, Tom. I didn't like that.
However, the actual interview that inspired the American Psycho character was this one with David Letterman, where Tom Cruise laughed uncontrollably while telling the story of him cutting off his co-pilot's oxygen as they flew to dangerous altitude levels.
One time we were flying to Colorado, and I was flying this airplane that we had to go on oxygen, and winds were better at a higher altitude, so we climbed up, and I realized that we couldn't stay at that altitude if on oxygen. I had to descend because I didn't have enough oxygen. So I had a passenger in the back. So we figured out, you know, me and the co-pilot, that if we turned the oxygen off in the back guy, that we could make it at this altitude. so we, you know, it wasn't dangerous or anything, you know.
So what happened when you turned his oxygen off?
He was very quiet. He felt
Letterman didn't seem to think this story was as funny as Tom thought it was.
He fell asleep. He fell asleep. He slept the whole way.
Wow. But,
you know, he's the kind of guy you wanted to have him sleep the whole way. You know, it's like just.
But honestly, looking at it from another direction, isn't that attempted manslaughter? You just turn a guy's oxygen off? You're lucky you're not doing time, for the love of God.
He woke up.
He did wake up, yeah.
You know, when we were landing on descent, he.
As the passenger blacked out after being oxygen deprived for several minutes, Tom finds it hysterical how confused the man was when he regained consciousness, feeling numb and disoriented.
My hands are. He said, my hands. My hands are your all's hands. He said, my hands are tingling. I slept the whole way. I said, must have been the way I was laying.
Now, some people think Christian Bale was actually onto something. And no, I'm not suggesting Tom Cruise is actually a serial murderer or enjoys the suffering of others, but he does have an obvious dark side, one that seems to be ignored by the masses. While they praise him for his box office hits and incredible stunts, Tom credits Scientology as the reason why he is so successful. Scientology is the quote-unquote religion that thrives on forced labor, signing its members to 1 billion-year contracts, having an alleged torture camp called The Hole, among other horrible allegations from former members. Tom is so dedicated to this religion, he abandoned his own 7-year-old daughter and has not seen her in over a decade. Today, we're going to deep dive into the career of Tom Cruise and try to assess why he is so loyal to the shadowy world of Scientology. Tom Cruise's life started out as an abused child who was desperate for a purpose. Cruise has described his father as a merchant of chaos who was a bully and a coward. For me, it was like, there's something wrong with this guy. Don't trust him. Be careful around him. You can imagine that not being able to trust your own father when you are a toddler created a difficult and chaotic environment for Cruise. Additionally, when Cruise was 7 years old, he was diagnosed with dyslexia, which made him feel even more isolated and confused. His father could never hold a steady job, which led to the family moving often. They moved from Syracuse, New York to Ottawa, Canada in 1971 when Tom was in 3rd grade. By the 6th grade, his parents got divorced, and his mother moved Tom and his sisters down to Louisville, Kentucky. According to Shane Dempler, a friend that went to school with Tom in Louisville, Tom was interested in becoming a Catholic priest. He had a very strong Catholic faith, Dempler said. We went to Mass, spent time in the chapel, and enjoyed hearing stories from the priests. We thought the priests had a great lifestyle, and we were really interested in priesthood. Unfortunately, the boys were kicked out of the school after they were caught stealing alcohol and drinking in the woods. Shane recalled, "The school wrote a letter to our parents saying they liked us both, but would prefer if we didn't return. So we weren't kicked out, just preferred not to go." From there, Tom relocated to another seminary school in Cincinnati, Ohio, after being recommended by a local priest. Tom was instantly hooked, said Father Rich Schneider, who gave the speech that brought Cruz to seminary school. "I think he wanted a good education. With his parents going through a divorce, it was tough on him. That's maybe one of the reasons why he came here." His time in Cincinnati did not last long, as his family would ultimately relocate again to Glen Ridge, New Jersey, where he finished high school. After graduation, Tom knew acting was his future. Within his first year of auditioning for various Hollywood roles, he landed a small part in a film called Endless Love. Tom's handsome look and physique made him stand out amongst his peers, which got him an ancillary role in the film Taps. As a novice in the industry, he wanted to learn everything there was to learn about cinema.
The first film that I really got on, which was Taps, I went to every single department and I studied every part of the movie. I went to the camera department, I studied lenses, lighting. You know, I was working with a great cinematographer, Oren Roisman. I studied what producers do, what writers do, what wardrobe does, what the stunt department does, props, sound. I studied every aspect of film.
Tom was obsessed. His work ethic gave Hollywood producers even more of a reason to invest in him. He earned another ancillary role in The Outsiders before securing his first lead role in the 1983 hit Risky Business. Risky Business is an 80s mood film that appealed to teenagers at the time. Every generation has a few cult classic coming-of-age films that are not cinematic masterpieces with intricate plots, but capture somewhat of a realistic look of the aesthetic, attitudes, and behaviors of the kids who grew up in that era. The film grossed $60 million at the box office, and he stole the hearts of young people in the USA. Even at the young age of 19, Tom was mature beyond his years, which can be felt during this 1983 interview with Bobby Wygant.
What do directors, how do they direct you? Do they work with you a lot, or do they pretty much give you rein?
Yeah, they leave me alone. A director, a good director will listen, and trust his artists after casting them. I've been fortunate. I've really had a lot of room with the directors that I've worked with.
Tom holds a very controlled, poised demeanor. Even if he glares at you for a second, you can feel his intensity. He quickly shifts from high-energy laughter to extremely soft-spoken. Tom continued his trajectory as a rising star in Hollywood, and in 1986 he would land a lead role in a classic film that would officially secure him a 40-year legacy. It also ushered him into the controversial Church of Scientology. But first, a quick word from today's sponsor, Underdog.
To understand, the Church of Scientology, is this something that feeds you spiritually, or is it a technique that just helps your mind? Is it a religion?
Yeah, by definition, it is a religion.
And is it for you? Does it help you in a spiritual way?
Yeah, but the thing is that it's not a matter of being fed something. And it is not someone telling you how to live your life. It is not someone feeding you what is real for them. It is what is real for you. It is a self-exploration.
Does it bother you that it is considered so controversial, that it is considered a cult, that it has been investigated? I'm not telling you anything you don't know.
No, it doesn't. For me, I don't care. It doesn't affect me at all. It doesn't matter to me. Whatever anybody thinks or what they don't know, I know what I know.
He still seemed to be reserved, not willing to go into immense detail about how the church functions and his role in it. In 1986, L. Ron Hubbard died, and David Miscavige was named chairman of the board, or the leader of Scientology, in 1987.
At 2000 hours Friday, the 24th of January, AD 36, L. Ron Hubbard discarded the body he had used in this lifetime for 74 years, 10 months, and 11 days. The body he had used to facilitate his existence in this messed universe had ceased to be useful, and in fact, had become an impediment to the work he now must do outside of its confines.
In 1993, Scientology became a recognized religion in the United States, which dramatically increased its legitimate concerns about its financial practices and whether it was really qualified as a religion. The Church of Scientology fought back by filing many lawsuits against the IRS and reportedly harassed IRS officials. Finally, in 1993, after years of conflict, the IRS granted Scientology tax-exempt status, recognizing it as a religious organization. This decision was highly controversial and led to widespread criticism, with many people believing that the IRS had been pressured into making the decision. And as you'll learn on his 42nd birthday.
Thank you. I don't know where I am right now. You know, you have to kind of be there to understand this reality. You know how that is? This is incredible. This is just... how do I thank you? Thank you. It's the best birthday ever. I mean, ever.
Or the speech he gave when accepting Scientology's made-up Freedom Medal of Valor.
These are the times now, people, okay? These are the times we will all remember. Were you there? What did you do? I think you know that I am there for you. And I do care so very, very, very much. So what do you say? We need to clean this place up? Huh? Because we're counting on you. Okay? All right? To LRH.
But there was one video that
case, you know, this kind of lunatic fringe sort of religion thing.
Used to the response. I mean,
fly around in
that's
spaceship.
bigotry.
Well,
that is the religious equivalent of racism.
I'm putting the point to you that this is the people's reaction.
No, I think maybe people say that to you. They don't.
like Matt Lauer wanted to learn about how Scientology affects Tom's relationships.
Katie has mentioned that she is embracing, or at least exposing herself and opening herself up to Scientology. At this stage in your life, could you be with someone who doesn't have an interest?
You know, Scientology is something that you don't understand. It's like you could be a Christian and be a Scientologist, okay? Scientology is something...
So it doesn't replace religion?
And it is a religion because it's dealing with the spirit, you know, you as a spiritual being. And it's something that there's tools that you have that you apply to your life.
They then go on to discuss when Tom Cruise criticized actress Brooke Shields for taking antidepressants for postpartum depression.
And I know that psychiatry is a pseudoscience.
But Tom, if she said that this particular thing helped her feel better, whether it was the antidepressant or going to a counselor or a psychiatrist, isn't that enough?
Matt, you have to understand this. Here we are today, where I talk out against drugs and psychiatric abuses of electric shocking people, okay, against their will, of drugging children with them not knowing the effects of these drugs. Do you know what Adderall is? Do you know Ritalin? Do you know now that Ritalin is a street drug? Do you understand that?
The difference is this was not against her will, though. But this wasn't against Brooke's will.
Matt, I'm asking you a question.
I understand there's abuse of all of these things.
No, you see, here's the problem. You don't know the history of psychiatry. I do.
Aren't there examples, and might not Brooke Shields be an example of someone who benefited from one of those drugs?
All it does is mask the problem, Matt. And if you understand the history of it, it masks the problem. That's what it does. That's all it does. You're not getting to the reason why. There is no such thing as a chemical imbalance.
So postpartum depression to you is Matt, kind of a little psychological gobbledygook?
No, I did not say that.
I'm just asking, what would you call it?
Matt, that is now you're talking about two different things.
But that's what she went on the antidepressant for.
But what happens, the antidepressant, all it does is mask the problem. There's ways of vitamins and through exercise and various things. I'm not saying that isn't real. That's not what I'm saying. That's an alteration of what I'm saying. I'm saying that drugs aren't the answer, that these drugs are very dangerous. They're mind-altering
antipsychotic drugs. And there are ways of doing it without that so that we don't end up in a brave new world.
While